Am I the only one that kind of feels like the entire Olympic event went by extremely quickly? It might have to do with the fact that I really didn't pay attention. Some really scrawny dude probably won the long race. Some scrawny tall dude probably won whatever swimming event. The US won about 1,000 different medals. And then at the end of all of it, Tom Cruise was running around with a flag because we all know that he loves to let people know that he can still run at age 60, which is obviously really impressive, but we get it, Tom Cruise. You can still run. It seems like he has an extended long running scene in almost every single one of his movies. Hitch a ride once in a while, okay, Tom Cruise? Anyways, all jokes aside, in today's video we're actually going to get incredibly serious because something pretty crazy happened over the past couple of days, and I'm going to at least hope that I can get this video out at the moment of the recording, because usually it takes me like 2 to 3 days to like fully edit and put together a video. But I'm going to try to challenge myself and actually upload this video today. We'll see how things go. But in the last couple of days, McFarlane decided to throw up his Kickstarter campaign for the medieval Spawn action figure that he's been teasing now for quite some time, and literally within like a couple of days it hit 1 million. By the time I actually upload this video, I'm going to assume that it's somewhere along the lines of like 1.4 million. By the way, in case you guys are wondering what the goal or the objective was for this particular Kickstarter, it was 100,000. So they've completely destroyed that goal. I'm not sure where they get this number from. I'm not sure if this was a legitimate goal of theirs, if that's like the bare minimum, or if that's what they were expecting. But it seems like 100,000 was an extremely low number for a project of this magnitude. Now, and look, in my personal opinion, I didn't know that Spawn had this much of a following, just because every time that I look at a Spawn figure on Amazon or wherever the case may be, it's usually on sale. Like, people are just not picking it up. Maybe because this is directly from McFarlane, maybe because there are some really cool added bonuses. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but this entire project is incredibly successful, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it and kind of dissect it a little bit. Now, I will say, as of the moment of this recording, everything that I'm kind of going through is pretty accurate. I mean, I may slip up here and there, but it seems like McFarlane is adding or changing things as the Kickstarter goes along. I didn't check this from the moment it started. I kind of checked it like a couple of days after. I figured once it's fully funded, I can go in there and see, you know, what goals have been reached and things of that nature, just because I do remember checking the first project, or the original Spawn figure, and that one was fully funded within like very similar. I mean, the numbers were completely crushed and it did extremely well. But I thought maybe because this was not the original, you know, look, the original concept for Spawn, maybe this was going to struggle a little bit more out of the gates. But like I said, it completely crushed any objective that it had, and it's a little bit baffling because we have seen other OMs kind of struggle here and there to put together a campaign and actually fully fund it. Sometimes it takes like the last couple of days or the last weekend to really be able to reach its objective or goal. Here, there was no problem, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised that by the time of the ending of this campaign, it's at like 2 million. I wouldn't be completely surprised from that. It seems like a very obtainable goal, especially considering there's still over, I believe, like 28 days at the moment of this recording. So there's plenty of time if you guys are interested in picking this particular set of figures up. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into what is being offered here. You have an option between 3 different Spawns. You have the original blue one, or I'm not sure which the original color was, but they have the blue version, the black variant, and then the artist proof one, which is all gray. I'm not sure who's picking up the all gray version, but I guess some people are interested in customizing this figure. They can take it apart, you know, sand it down, add their paint, sealants, whatever the case may be. But all 3 of those are available, and obviously I believe they're the exact same figure, just with different alternating color schemes. Now, if you were to just buy one of these, you would be paying about $58 plus taxes and shipping as well. So assume that you're going to be paying closer to about like $70 for this particular figure once, you know, all the fees and all the shipping is calculated. I've never purchased anything from a McFarlane Kickstarter, so I'm not sure how affordable their shipping is. It could be pretty good. it might not be. I guess it depends on where you live. Now, there is also a package that is $110, which includes one of these figures, depending on whichever one that it is that you want, and then an autograph little plaque. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm not really a big fan of that autograph. I would much rather get like an autographed comic book or a card or something along those lines. But if you're interested in something like that, you can pay the $110. There's also the standard 3-pack, which is $210, and you're picking up all 3 of them plus the McFarlane autograph, which comes out to about like $60 per figure, and then an extra, I believe, what is it, like $30 for the autograph, which really isn't too bad. I guess if you want to save money and you want every single version of this Kickstarter, then you guys can pick up that one for $210. Now, there was at least one more really interesting tier for this Kickstarter. Unfortunately, it's already sold out. There were only 700 of these made available, and it essentially included all of the 3 figures as well as a signature for each and every single one of them. But as I said, there's no need to cover or really talk about it because it's sold out. And as the moment of this recording, it doesn't appear that they're going to make this tier available at a later date. But the biggest update obviously being the extra weapons or the extra accessories that you're going to receive if you decide to purchase one of these figures. McFarlane decided to reward the entire community for being able to reach $1 million in purchases, and well, it's going to be quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to say that these are free items per se. I feel like they're just built into the price point. Their profit margins probably were really large once they hit $1 million in backing, and so that's the main reason that they decided to throw in the extra accessories. You will be receiving a morning star, a scimitar, a small axe, a large axe, some extra hands, a large shield, a mace, a couple of forearm pads. The chest plate will depend on which version you decide to go with. Each one will have its own different paint scheme. You will get a soft helmet as well as the spawn symbol chain. The opened mouth hamburger head will also be included. And similar to the armored chest pieces, where it depends on what version you're going to get, the chest piece will be specific to that particular figure. They will also be offering some extra head sculpts that will be only for a specific version. So you'll be looking at, for example, the Roman helmet, which I'm assuming is just a soft plastic helmet that can be ported on. That will be an exclusive to anybody picking up the blue and the black variant. You have the Valkyrie helmet, which will be exclusive to the artist proof and the blue variant. And then there is an alternate hamburger version that has a closed mouth, and that one will be exclusive to the black version as well as the artist proof version. And if at any point you had any doubts or questions about whether this figure was going to come with enough to warrant the price point, all of those worries I think have dissipated or should be dissipating. And I'll be brutally honest, at least me personally, I definitely felt that when I first saw the original price point and what you were going to get with that particular figure, whichever figure it is that you decided to go with. I did feel like the price was a little bit of a reach or a little bit of a stretch, but now seeing everything that it comes with, you are looking at a $70 price point, which is definitely a very hefty price, but you are getting quite a bit. This is a legitimate deluxe figure with all of the extra pieces that it's going to come with. And just from looking at the body molds or the promotional images that they have thus far, I definitely feel like this is a lot more intricate and way more detailed than what he would usually release if this were just like a mainline release Spawn figure. This definitely feels like a deluxe figure. He's going above and beyond. He's putting in those extra little details that you usually wouldn't get with a medieval Spawn figure. Now, I did say this at the beginning, I don't love the fact that he's giving you like these little plaques with his signature on it. I definitely feel like I would just feel more comfortable if there was like maybe a comic book signed or something else that I could actually like have graded or sealed up and, you know, keep mint in perfect condition. But if you're interested in those plaques, it's just another option for you. Not to mention the accessories just have an insane amount of detail. This type of sculpt work is clearly meant for adult collectors, people that are truly going to appreciate how phenomenal these look. And it's also worth mentioning, it gives you a plethora of different options when it comes down to displaying your Spawn action figures. Now, I believe he does mention in one of the little clips that he uploaded that this is set to be released, or set to be like in hand before the holidays, before Christmas. And here's where I have a little bit of a problem with this whole Kickstarter campaign from McFarlane. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It almost feels like he wants this money up front, because at least from what he's saying, from what he's making us believe, everything is already produced, everything is already in hand. All that he's really doing is getting the money and then shipping these out as soon as the whole Kickstarter campaign closes up. These Kickstarter campaigns are usually reserved for smaller OMs or smaller companies that just don't have the backing to be able to go and mass produce a bunch of action figures or accessories, or the packaging. But in this particular case, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company, and it doesn't even feel like they need the funding for this project to go into production. It almost feels like everything is already completed and he just wants the money a few months early. So it's not the end of the world, it's not the biggest issue, but it's definitely something that kind of bothered me. At least on a moral standpoint, it feels a little bit sketchy that McFarlane is choosing this path rather than just making these available once they are ready to ship. Again, that really doesn't take anything away from the figure itself or the collectibles, but it's just something that I thought I would bring up. And like I said, I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. Is this kind of sketchy work from McFarlane, or do you not mind it? Does it really matter? Because in the grand scheme of things, this thing will probably hit 2 million by the time it's done, and all the saliva that I've spilled will be for absolutely nothing, because at the end of the day, people vote with their money, and they're voting this into like record-breaking status. But like I said, I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. The community, does it really matter, or have you guys already pre-ordered or ordered a few of these yourself? Let me know down below in the comment section. Which version did you get, or which versions do you plan on getting? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for sticking it out with us. If you guys enjoy this type of rambling content, don't forget to stay tuned, because we are uploading, or we're going to try to upload at least once every couple of days. I'm hoping people don't get tired of hearing my voice, but only time will tell. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and as always, make sure to enjoy the hobby, because that's the most important part of all this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.